Bred to Win, brought to you by Inglis. The 2022 Inglis Yearling Sale Series, entries now open.
Hello, I'm Caroline Searcy. Welcome to the return of Bred to Win for Series 2 in 2021 as we welcome in the new racing and breeding season. In coming weeks, we'll look at some exciting first season sires, catch up with the class of 2020 who've set an all-time high benchmark, and revisit some star-proven stallions. Coming up on this show, we profile two star Group 1 winning 2-year-olds, Coolmore, son of Redoute's Choice, King's Legacy, and the Blue Diamond winner with rich Japanese blood in his veins, Yulong Farm's Tagaloa. Plus Vinery studs Adam White in Arrowfield Studs, the horse who made you love racing. First though, the Aushorse news of the week. Written Tycoon has been crowned champion Australian sire for the 2021 season with earnings of $17.03 million, having stood last season at Arrowfield Stud in the Hunter Valley of New South Wales before moving for the new season to Victoria's Yulong Farm. Written Tycoon sired 12 individual stakes winners in the season, including Guineas winners Ole Kirk and Odium, and Moya Stakes winner Pippi, who was sold at the Inglis Chairman's sale for $1.8 million. I Am Invincible was second with earnings of $15.7 million, but led the way with an Australian record of 208 winners. Not a Single Doubt finished third ahead of four-time champion Sire Schnitzel, and So You Think rounded out the top five. Newgate Farm's Extreme Choice took first season sire honours, which included siring Golden Slipper winner Stay Inside. Second was barnmate Capitalist, who had 61 runners to Extreme Choice's 15. It was a Newgate trifecta with Flying Artie third, ahead of Shalar and Star Turn. Leading broodmare sire was in Costa de Lago, ahead of Redoute's Choice, More Than Ready, Zabil and Fastnet Rock. In New Zealand, Savabeel secured his 7th straight sires title, led by Group 1 winners such as Amaralina, Probabeel and Moonga.
Racing, Jigsaw fast out, going away quickly, Rock Artist and Newitt's riding the ears off him, looking for the front. Lloyd's Crown, Jigsaw drives up.
The Inglis Graduate of the week is the winner of one of the final 2-year-old races in Melbourne for the season, Rock Artist. It's a personal story for me, as he was the first horse I was involved in pinhooking, having taken a share in him when he was bought by Duncan Ramage from Fairhill Farm at the 2019 Inglis Australian Weanling Sale for only $8,000. Just showing a good horse can be bought for a value price through the Inglis sales ring, we on-sold the colt by Wandjina to Victorian trainer Ken Keys as part of the Lime Country draft at the 2020 Inglis Classic Yearling Sale for $35,000. From the Choisir mare Ultima Carter, a half-sister to Group 1 winner Good Project, Rock Artist is now being aimed at either the Vane Stakes or the Mitchell Mackenzie as a new season 3-year-old. Wandjina now stands at Victoria's Larnook Stud for $8,800. Coolmore Stud has for generations cultivated some of the best sire lines in the world, Danehill, Sadler's Wells, Galileo and more. And in 2021, they welcome a son of champion sire Redoute's Choice, King's Legacy, one of the rarest of rare of first season sires, a dual Group 1 winning 2-year-old.
He's the Group 1 king, King's Legacy.
Tom, Coolmore Australia continues the great legacy of the global operation with 2 new sires this year in Wootton Bassett, who we'll profile once he's settled in, and King's Legacy we'll look at today. But it's been quite some year in the breeding industry in Australia already, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's right, Caroline. The sales throughout 2021 have been incredibly strong. starting with the Magic Millions yearling sale in January and all the way through to the breeding stock sales at Inglis and Magic Millions in May and June. It's a wonderful industry here in Australia. Coolmore recognises that, and that's why we send stallions like Wootton Bassett over to Australia to stand at stud. It really shows the Magna family's commitment to the industry here in Australia. They've continued to invest in quality stock, as you've seen throughout the sales right through the year. It's a really exciting place to be at the moment, and we can't wait to offer the progeny of those outstanding mares at the sales in the coming years.
Well, it's wonderful to see the stunning King's Legacy here today. A dual Group 1 winning 2-year-old by Redoute's Choice, who, as with his father Dane Hill before him, is one of global breeding's absolute greats. Of course, King's Legacy is, crossed with Not a Single Doubt's female line. It's Snippert's family too. It's such a deep page.
King's Legacy really has all the credentials that a stallion requires to be a success at stud, and we have great belief in him. As you say, a son of Redoute's Choice, the only son of Redoute's Choice to ever win 2 Group 1s as a 2-year-old, from a sire's pedigree, from the immediate family of Not a Single Doubt and Snippert's. He really is a wonderful package, and we're delighted to have him here at Coolmore. He's been very well received since he's been here, and we can't wait to see how his career unfolds.
His type, I mean, what a magnificent colt. He was picked out by one of the best judges, of course, James Harron, as a yearling for $1.4 million, bred by Coolmore Stud, always stunning looking. But, as a racehorse, some of the vision of him in the sun, he was just one of those magnificent, masculine-looking colts, wasn't he? And they are, of course, the ones that become some of the best stallions.
Yeah, he's a beautiful horse. Has been since day one. Obviously, James Harron is a great judge, and he buys a lovely horse. Him to make $1.4 million at the Magic Millions in January, offered by Coolmore Stud, great breeders. He's a real eye catcher. He's a real look and book type horse. Anyone that's come to the farm to see him since he's retired has loved him and has wanted to send a mare to him. He's the type of horse that's going to get a very good looking yearling to present at the sales, and we see him as being a great commercial option for any breeder in Australia. At
only his second race start, he was a group winner in the BJ McLaughlin Stakes. He beat the subsequent Lightfinger Stakes winner Every Rose. He had to push his way out on the turn, but I really loved the way he pinned his ears after she raced away, and he was able to get past her and win.
Yeah, he's a naturally gifted racehorse, and was from day one. James Harron and the Snowden team have indicated that. For him to go out and win a group race before the new year of his 2-year-old season really tells you what a naturally gifted racehorse he was. To beat a horse of the quality of Every Rose, who had already come out and won the Jim Crack Stakes, really showed the natural ability that he possessed.
And we're ready now for the first of our Group 1s, the Inglis Sires, 1,400 metres, and they're off. King's Legacy is really starting to surge. King's Legacy a length away, draws level with Prague. King's Legacy wins the Inglis Sires.
Of course, it was after this point that Coolmore bought into King's Legacy. That's just a huge endorsement of this colt, adding him to your esteemed roster. And he truly was the Group 1 king, as Darren Fwendell called him again in the Champagne Stakes, beating the likes again of Ole Kirk.
We purchased him after the Sires produce. It was such an eye-catching performance, and he was a horse with great credentials that we really just had to have. To go on and win the Champagne Stakes a few days later really confirmed the belief that we had in him, and to become a multiple Group 1 winning 2-year-old, beating Ole Kirk in both of his Group 1 wins, we really couldn't have been any happier to have him at that point. 5 Group 1 races for 2-year-olds on offer in Australia every year, and he won 2 of them, so it's no mean feat. And it just gives an indication to what an incredibly talented racehorse he was, and the sire that he can be.
And we know Redoute's Choice, as I said, I mean, he is one of the world's greats, but as a sire of sires, I mean, what a legacy he's already left.
Redoute's Choice, arguably the greatest sire of sires since Dane Hill himself, and we feel like King's Legacy really fits the mould of the sires that are carrying on that line. Horses like Snitzel, Not a Single Doubt, and now Extreme Choice. He's that medium-sized type horse, well put together, very correct, and very much in the mould of Redoute's Choice himself. We have so much confidence in this horse, and the way in which breeders are going to get behind him and support him with quality mares is very exciting for us. It's really important for stallions like King's Legacy to receive support from very early on in their career, and the support that King's Legacy is going to receive is phenomenal. He has a great group of shareholders in him who are supporting him with some of their own very best mares, People like Jonathan Munns, who has a wonderful broodmare band, and James Harron and his ownership group are really throwing their support behind this horse, and they'll give him every chance to succeed at stud. He's bred on the same Redoutes. Hussein Cross is Extreme Choice, who's had a wonderful start to his career, almost a three-quarter brother to Not a Single Doubt, one of the best stallions we've seen in the last few years. And then it goes back to the family of Snippets, a great Australian stallion in his own right. So yeah, it's a family littered with the successful sires, and we're very confident that King's Legacy can carry on that. You talk to people like James Harron and those that looked after him at Snowden Racing when he was in training, and they always remarked on what a wonderful temperament he had when he was in training. Ever since he's been back here at Coolmore and settled into his new surroundings, he's continued in the same vein. He's got a wonderful temperament, a beautiful nature, and we're confident that that will be thrown into his offspring in time.
Such an exciting horse, King's Legacy, and I know myself I'm really looking forward to seeing his foals next year. I can only imagine what it's like up there for you with this weight as the first mares come in for him in season 2021.
Yeah, King's Legacy is a stallion that really has it all in terms of his credentials. A dual Group 1 winning 2-year-old, a wonderful size pedigree, arguably the best looking horse in the Hunter Valley, and we really look forward to watching his career unfold.
Looking at King's Legacy on G1 Goldmine, and the top two female affinities with his sire Redoute's Choice are Natalma and Special. 35% of Group 1 winners by Redoute's Choice have Natalma in their dam's pedigree, while 29% of the champion sire's stakes winners have the mother of Northern Dancer on the distaff side. They include Miss Finland, the Autumn Sun, Lankan Rupee and Samantha Miss. 22% of Redoute's Choice's Group 1 winners have Special on the dam side, with 19 of his stakes winners having the same, including stars such as Streamer, Trapeze Artist, Miracles of Life and more. Often both these mares appear through Saddler's Wells and Nureyev, and you can look at how your mare matches up with King's Legacy for free by going to the Coolmore Stud website. King's Legacy certainly has what it takes to be a champion sire of the future, and in coming weeks we'll revisit one of our all-time favourites, So You Think, now one of Coolmore's best stallions. Coming up after the break, we welcome back our sponsor Cambridge Stud with their performance of the week, and look at the huge expansion of Yulong Farm as they launch their Blue Diamond winning stallion Tagaloa.
Bred to Win, supported by Prized Icon, a Group 1 winner of 2 and Derby winner of over $2 million, standing at Coringal Stud in 2021.
So You Assume's home at the 100, raced away 3 lengths, 4 lengths in front.
The Cambridge Stud performance of the week also came at Moonee Valley, with New Zealand bred stallion So You Think producing So You Assume as a promising 3-year-old winner amongst the stallion's 4 winners for the day. So You Assume is by the 10-time Group 1 winner from a Choisir half-sister to Manawanui, and was bought for $40,000 at the Inglis Premier yearling sale from the Lauriston Farm draft by trainer Shane Nichols. So You Think ended last season with 133 winners, including 12 stakes winners and progeny earnings of over $13.7 million. The son of High Chaparral covered more mares than any other stallion in Australia, and this season stands for $77,000 at Coolmore Stud in the Hunter Valley.
So You Assume a big winner. She's been in great form.
Yu Shengzhang's Yulong Farm has made a big impact on the Australian breeding scene, buying up some of our best-known broodmares and now standing 6 stallions at their Victorian base. In 2021, they've launched the Blue Diamond winner Tagaloa, offering mare owners the chance to get into some of the world's best Japanese bloodlines.
Tagaloa has won it from Hanseatic and Personal. A mighty mare, Melanie Bellis
every year we see and hear more about the growth of Yulong Farm. Just tell us a bit about how the development of the property is coming along, the buildings, the fences and everything else you're working on.
So our 3 properties are all bar complete. We're just putting the finishing touches on them at the moment. So all the roads have just been hot mixed, and we've planted plenty of trees and painting the fences and just putting the final touches on it. Our 14-horse stallion barn is completed, and we're looking forward to rolling into the breeding season.
Well, look, it's been so exciting seeing the incredible mares Sam and Mr. Zhang and the team have bought in the last 12 months. You know, much loved household names. Melody Bell bought for $2.6 million, Graceful Glamour for $1.5 million, Fedora $2.55, and in her time from the Inglis chairman's sale for $2.2 million. It's a real sign of, you know, intent by Yulong to be at the top of the tree in the Australian breeding industry, isn't it?
Without a doubt. At the end of the day, our main goal is to be a leading stud farm and stallion farm, I should say, in Australia. So to do that, we need to support our young stallions with the best possible mares we can find, and Mr. Zhang has taken no shortcuts in doing so. So it's really exciting to have some of these big mares back at the farm, and we're looking forward to seeing what foals we can produce with them.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we talk so much about the stallions, which of course we'll get to in a minute, but these mares are household names. You know, Melody Bell, a record-breaking winner of 14 Group 1s, just so well loved by her owners and the Tiakau camp. Graceful Glamour, a multiple Group winner. There were tears from the Derby racing team when she was sold. She was such a popular race mare, and obviously a lot of people will be following the offspring of these mares.
Being a Kiwi myself, it gives me goosebumps to think that Melody Bell's in the back paddock. And Graceful Glamour, you know, both these mares have been raced with syndication companies, which is really exciting. So they've all got a huge following, and we're really excited to have them here at the farm.
And the mares are going to Written Tycoon. What a coup to get this wonderful sire. He's now the reigning champion Australian stallion after another sensational year.
It is, it's really exciting. It's the next step for us. We've got a lot of beautiful mares here that'll get bred to him. He's the first stallion, I think, since Dane Hill and Redoute's Choice sire, both the Blue Diamond winner and the Golden Slipper winner in the same season. So he's a very, very special stallion, and he still looks fit, well and young, and we're looking forward to the breeding season with him.
Tagaloa's gritty from Hanseatic. Tagaloa has won it.
Well, every year we see new stallions at Yulong too, obviously boosting the Victorian breeding industry and giving great opportunities to broodmare owners. We'll focus on Lucky Vega in a separate story, but how brilliant to have a Blue Diamond Stakes winner in Tagaloa to stand his first season in 2021.
That's right, our stallion roster's taken a big jump this year with 3 additional first season sires joining the roster alongside our foundation stallion Grunt and Group 1 winning son of Redoute's Choice Alabama Express. But Tagaloa, we think, is a very rare talent. From a physical point of view, he's got an immense amount of quality. He was bred by Arrowfield Stud and commanded a price tag of $300,000 at the Magic Million sales when purchased by Busted Racing. And then to go on and become a Group 1 winner, we're very excited to have him back here at Yulong.
Well, as you said, he was sold by the great vendor Arrowfield Stud. I mean, they've been honing these great Japanese bloodlines for years. His sire, Lord Tagaloa, was second to Deep Impact on last year's Japanese Sires title. And, you know, he's sired so many superstars, in particular the champion Almond Eye.
Tremendous breeders, Arrowfield Stud, and Lord Tagaloa, obviously Horse of the Year himself as a 2-year-old. To sire 32 individual Group 1 winners in his first season at Stud, which was only 12 winners behind the super sire Deep Impact himself, and the general sires pool is pretty phenomenal. And like you say, to have Almond Eye and that crop, who was champion Horse of the Year and a 10-time Group 1 winner.
And Tagaloa's dam sire, Heart's Cry, of course by Sunday Silence, the great breed shaper, he's the sire of the Cox Plate winner Lee Gracieux and the Caulfield Cup winner Admire Racti. So we know the blood works here, and it's such a great opportunity to access this blood for Victorian and other mare owners.
Heart's Cry, a very influential stallion, and that's making Tagaloa an outcross to Dane Hill, which is going to be make mating to him very easy for breeders.
Tagaloa about 3/4 Barkyard, extending Tagaloa. Tagaloa looked good, won a length.
Well, looking at his race record, Tagaloa, he was placed in the Maribyrnong Plate first start, and then he was a 2-year-old winner in Melbourne in November, so he was out and running in good company very early on.
Just like his sire, Lord Canaloa is very precocious. He won his only trial before heading to the Group 3 Maribyrnong Plate first up, where he ran third, before going on to win a very competitive 2-year-old race at Moonee Valley before a short spill.
He then returned in the new year, ran on behind Hanseatic in the Blue Diamond Prelude before coming out and beating him in the Blue Diamond. I mean, this isn't just a Victorian 2-year-old championship, this race. I mean, it spurned stallions such as the exciting Extreme Choice recently. You go back through Redoute's Choice and Bella Spree, and even the huge broodmare influences, the fillies such as Danelaw, Courtser and Bounding Away. This is a breed-shaping race, and Tagaloa won it.
That's right, and he won it very impressively, beating Hanseatic, the talented away game, and also Group 1 winner Personal. But what I thought was most impressive about the race was that he not only won it in a fast time, he won it in the fastest time since 2011 for a 2-year-old over 1,200 metres at Caulfield. It's always hard to keep horses up and travel them up interstate for these big races, and we know how important the Todman is as a lead-up race into the Golden Slipper. So a Gallant second was very impressive by him before coming out and running a 4th in the Golden Slipper.
But going well as Tagaloa. Tagaloa clear.
It's always very impressive to see these colts come back as 3-year-olds and show they've still got it. His CS Hayes win was very impressive. He actually came home faster than Nature Strip in the Group 1 Lightning Stakes over the last 400 metres on the same day.
Plus, he's just, as you touched on, he's a stunning individual, isn't he? What do you see, like physically, when you look at Tagaloa?
So much quality. He's just he's beautifully put together and he's beautifully balanced. He stands over a bit of ground. He's 16-1 hands high, so he's just a beautiful individual, and we really think he's going to duel well with the Dane Hill line mares, like the likes of Redoute's mares, Schnitzel mares, Not a Single Doubt mares fillies that are looking for an outcross and a stallion that's going to put a bit of size and substance into them.
And the gorgeous Alabama Express, the Group 1 All Stakes winner by Redoute's Choice. How did he get on in his first season, and how's he looking for season 2 at Yulong?
So I was really excited when I went through the mares he covered in year 1. Mr. Zhang's taken no shortcuts and sending some of the best mares in Australia to him. He covered the likes of Group 1 winner Fox Play, the dam of multiple Group 1 winner and emerging sire Extreme Choice, the dam of Liars, Blue Diamond winner, the dam of Global Glamour. So many beautiful mares. Look, he's going to be given every opportunity. He covered 142 mares in his first season, and we see him covering a similar number this year.
And Grunt, of course, by the great New Zealand champion sire O'Reilly, and a close relation to a real sire on fire at the moment in Ocean Park. A dual Group 1 winner. How's the reception been to the first foals by Grunt from last spring?
Grunt's going to have no excuses. He's covered 340 mares in his first 2 seasons at stud, and his first weanlings were really well received between pinhookers and buyers at the various sales. They sold up to 155,000 at the Magic Millions, so we couldn't be any more pleased with them.
And Yulong Prince, another new sire this season at Yulong, a Group 1 winner in South Africa and the winner of the Cantala Stakes in Melbourne Cup Week. Geez, great value for a new stallion, isn't he?
That's right. Yulong Prince is a very interesting horse. He obviously one of the best horses of his generations up in South Africa, where he won the Group 1 Telegraph Stakes. Before Mr. Zhang brought him down here, and he was sent to Chris Waller's, where he went on to win the Group 1 Cantala Stakes over a mile on Derby Day at Flemington. Yulong Prince is a son of Give Me the Green Light, who's an Australian-bred champion sire by More Than Ready. Physically, he looks a lot like his own sire, Give Me the Green Light, and More Than Ready. He's a beautiful black horse, and Lizzie Jilfs actually had him as her pick of the yard at 4 of his last 5 starts in Sydney, which speaks volumes.
Well, look, summing up overall, it must be just such an exciting place to be, Yulong Farm, on the cusp of a new breeding season.
It is. Mr. Zhang's, he's taken no shortcuts. We've got 270 mares on the farm. We've got a great young team, and we're all looking forward to heading into the breeding season and the coming years.
Tagaloa, a great boost for the Victorian breeding industry, and in coming weeks we'll profile Yulong Farm's first international Group 1 winner in Lucky Vega. Coming up on Bred to Win, Adam White from Vinery Stud in Arrowfield starts the horse who made you love racing.
Bred to Win, supported by Hanover Lodge, preparing the elite racehorse. This segment brought to you by Arrowfield Stud, the brand worth its weight in gold.
Well, Caroline, I was lucky enough to grow up in a racing family. My father was a jockey and Mum was a trainer, so from as far as I can remember, I always had racehorses around me, so always loved the horses, always loved being around them and working with them. But it was the racehorse that really captured me as a young boy was Kingston Town. He was a superstar of his time, won $1 million on the track, 3 Cox plates, and I always remember it being at primary school, the TV being wheeled into the classroom, and that day in the Melbourne Cup when Gurners Lane ran him down, I was just devastated. It was like watching a football team lose a grand final. He was a great horse. And also as a young boy, I was very fortunate enough to meet Kingston Town. As I said before, my father was a jockey, and a couple of years after he retired from racing, my father actually got an opportunity to ride him in an exhibition gallop at the Mount Gambier Cup Carnival. So I have some fond memories of going to the races that day with Mum and meeting his strapper and spending some time with the horse in the tie-up stalls and then watching Dad get legged up in those famous Haynes colours and watch the horse gallop down the straight was really special. I've got some great footage of that at home, and we'll be able to show my kids, when they get an appreciation of who Kingston Town really was, that their pop sort of got to ride him down on a racetrack.
The King, a great favourite for so many people. That's it for the return of Bred to Win for the spring of 2021. Join me again next week as we look at another star of the track, Caulfield Guineas winner Ole Kirk at Vinery Stud, and Rosemont in Victoria welcome the stunning son of street boss Hanseatic. That's all next week. I'm Caroline CSE. Look forward to seeing you then.
Bred to Win, brought to you by Inglis, the 2022 Inglis Yearling Sale Series. Entries now open.